She should be here because we're out of time. Madie. Because the next session is supposed to come.
Yes, the next session is supposed to start in just a few minutes.
Yes, I think it's supposed to start very quickly, isn't it? In like 3 minutes?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we were at the transition. I was trying to turn it over to you. So are you chairing the next session?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then I'm going to leave and I'll leave you all. I've been on all morning. So good luck to you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, and thank you, Professor Beverly Anderson. And a warm welcome to everybody to this next session where we're going to check some effective tools and strategies for innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystems. And our very first speaker is David Madie, who is the CEO and founder of Growth Wheel. And I'm very excited to hear what you have to share tonight. So I'm turning over to you.
Thank you very much. Tonight, this afternoon, and I think even morning for someone. Myself, I am from Denmark, but based in New York. So I think here at this call, there's really all time zones represented, more or less. And that is one of the wonderful things about this conference, I think. What an achievement of Dr. Hanadi to bring this crowd of people together, our speakers and participants. And what I've come to learn to like about virtual conferences is that it's not just happening now. There will be people watching what we are doing right now at a later point in time. And I think Dr. Hanadi and her team has really created an amazing digital asset that will be available for many more people who are here at this very moment for this call. But in respect of the short time we have, let me roll on and share my slides here and get started on my presentation. I'm going to give an example of how you can create a system to help advisors on the ground, those people who are sitting face to face with entrepreneurs, whether they are helping them in a makerspace, as we've seen, whether they are helping them as investors, venture capital, maybe they are university teachers, or they run incubators, or they are part of a government-funded program to support entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So I call this presentation, Be the Best Business Advisor You Can Be. It's about how you can make the most impact from one-to-one sessions with clients, keep them coming back and build long-term relationships with them. My name is David Madie. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Wheel. So what I would like to suggest here is a framework that can be used by anyone in the ecosystem that works with business advice, a model with 6 steps in a workflow that will be very familiar to you, because if you are a business advisor, you probably work with this. All business advisors have some kind of an onboarding process where they meet the client, they collect information, they present the value of working together. It can be very short, can be long. There's an assessment phase where you try to figure out what is going on with the client right now. What's the status? Do they have problems? Maybe during COVID, many have faced challenges they need to work on. You try to look at opportunities they have, maybe assess their skills so you can help them get to the next level. All business advisors also share tools. This is PDF files, YouTube videos. It is visual tools, custom-made tools, Excel sheets and stuff. And most advisors then move on to making an action plan after they discuss the tools and the content and they follow up on it. Some like 30, 60, 90 the action plans, as discussed in the previous session, an agile approach, and others like a more strategic approach. But either way, it comes down to decisions and actions. Advisors do analytics. They monitor the outcomes. They measure execution. They may track clients' financials and report that to the client, from the client to the management, to the funders. And throughout,
Excuse me, David?
Yes.
Are you sharing the screen, or it is only one slide?
Oh, sorry. I am still.
Yes, I know, because I know who you are, because the people need to see your slides.
That is right. And I am just sharing one slide for now, Dr. Hanadi. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's only one slide. Can you share the others, please?
Yes, hold on a second.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David. More than welcome.
Yes. So let me get to my right slide here. So I need to. Oh, I'm on Zoom every day making presentations. So here you go. I need to stop sharing. Go back. And here we are once again. And I need to do this. Here we go. So I only showed one slide with my name, and then I was showing this framework that you already have seen that I was in the process of sharing. And the last part of the workflow that all business advisors have is that they manage the relationship. They make notes, they call the client, they have meetings, they write, they chat, and things like that. And if you're interested in this infographic as a framework for innovation of an entrepreneurship center, just write me at david@growthwheel.com. Also, I'll show you how GrowthWheel, we built a remote counseling platform around these steps, but you can really make your own in using Excel and other software. I'm going to give you a demo today about this. Few words about us. We are based in New York, Toronto, Copenhagen, Oslo, and Johannesburg, where we have staff. And when we say we are working to help everybody be the best business advisor they can be, we do three things in our company. We have a training program live online. So it's on Zoom, and we have people become GrowthWheel certified business advisors. And a shout out to Dr. Hanadi, who's actually a GrowthWheel certified business advisor and the first person in Kuwait to get this certification back in 2012. And we've been working together ever since. We also offer a business tool stack, simple visual tools for helping businesses grow.
Sorry, David, to correct you, I'm first in the Middle East.
That is correct, Dr. Hanadi, and that is a very important distinction.
Thank you.
The first in the entire Middle East. Today, we are fortunate to have also certified advisors in many other countries. But also, lastly, here we offer an online platform that supports this workflow that I'm going to talk about. It's 3,400 since 2008, 25 every month for 12 years that have taken our training, and those are incubators, business advisors, investors, professional business advisors, and others. It started back in Denmark, where I'm from, where GrowthWheel was purchased and licensed by the Danish government. And it is today used across the entire Danish ecosystem. New employees in the government-funded systems go through our training. And around the world, we are counting advisors in 63 countries. Several countries in the Middle East, Egypt, Jordan. We have in Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and I may be forgetting just a few. It's translated into 11 languages, including Arabic. So the entire software and the tools are available also in Arabic. So with that, what is GrowthWheel really? We designed a simple visual framework that is not really new to anyone in the industry. It's just a way of looking at how it is that we help a business as it's growing. All businesses need to have an attractive business concept, something somebody wants to buy. They need to have an organization behind it with partners and owners and vendors and suppliers and so on. They need to build lasting customer relations so they get new clients, keep them and grow them, and they need to make money by having profitable operation in using technology, managing cash flows and things like that. That's just one way of looking at it. GrowthWheel is a framework that breaks down these 4 challenges into 20 focus areas so you get a 360 view on things. And this framework is also available. You can get it and you can use it. It's really just a checklist in a circle with colors on it. And it shows some of the areas that a business advisor needs to help a client and how a client needs to make decisions and take action to grow. So we built this into a software platform. So for every one of these steps, we have software that supports the process. And I'm going to give you a little view on some of this software here today, starting with how you do an onboarding process. And, when you think about onboarding, sometimes it's just someone comes into the office and that's it. But we thought that all business advisors work with many companies and they need a technology to track all the information about these businesses. So we created some software to generate a business profile based on data that is inputted. So as you see here on the platform, you can enter data, and it starts with the address, but it also goes on with business descriptions, products, customer references, team members, partners, legal documents, and much more. And everything is data records. We're basically replacing a narrative Word document with data records, which you can manage, edit, count, and collect big data from. And all this information then is turned into a business profile with a cover page, business descriptions, markets, customer, top 5 customers, product and service descriptions, competitors, customer references, team members, board members, and your partners in a really simple way. It even generates automatically a one-page summary, because this is data. So they can automatically be displayed in many different ways. Now, that's the first step when you are collecting information from someone. And whether you're using Growthwheel or any other system, I think to be excellent at the process of onboarding, you need to figure out what is the best system that you have to keep track on all the information you have about the companies over time, so you don't keep it in a notebook. All right. On our platform, clients can even create these business profiles themselves, and they like that they can make use of the information they provide, because this is a shared platform. So instead of someone filling out a form where they provide facts about their business, we actually create a product that the client can use. Clients like that the advisor can remember everything, because all the data about the business is tracked in one place, and you can make a business profile in 60 minutes, because this is not a business plan. There's nothing here about plans for the future. We have other tools for that. It's just collecting the facts in one place. Think about it like a fact book. You can create your own, or you can take a look at our software. For the advisors using it, they always have the information in the same format. They can easily transfer data to another colleague, and they have a product. The first thing you can deliver to a client is this business profile or this fact book. All right. Moving on to assessment. Now that you know about the client, the facts, the question is, how can you help them? And there are many ways to make a 5-star assessment of a client that makes the client go, you have really understood my business. And you may be using some of these. Many advisors have a list of questions. They may have it in writing. They may have it in the back of their mind. It could be a good way to understand the business by asking a lot of questions. Or maybe you still ask them to write a business plan. It's a little bit old-fashioned now, where we know that agile approaches many times are better, but there are cases, as was the point was made earlier, that sometimes you may need a written document, and if you have it and you actually read it, well, you get a lot of information about the business, so you can make an assessment. You could look at the financials. They contain a lot of information about the business, their gross margins, their products, their markets, their plans. It's a great way to make an assessment. Or SWOT analysis, a classic way to really wear different pairs of glasses and see how a business is doing. You could use Balanced Scorecard or Business Model Canvas that we highly recommend, which is also a visual model with a 360 view that really tries to look at different aspects of the business. We came up with some other tools. One of them is a Growthwheel 360 screening. It can be done on a piece of paper in 10 minutes, or it can be done online with our software. I'm going to show a little demo of that in just a while. And it's just a very simple way of replacing the advisor's intuitive assessment of a business on a simple scale. How are we doing in these areas? 25, 50, 75, or 100%. So for those who are not using Growthwheel, you could do the same in an Excel sheet. Find out what are those key areas that you want to assess, and just use a very simple scale. If it's a scale of 10, it's too complicated. If there's too many questions, it's too complicated. It needs to be simple so it can be done in 10 minutes. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it every month. You do it once and never again. We need something that is short and precise enough to work, and that is an intuitive screening will be doing just that. So you end up with a list of areas that some are more important, and you can actually mark out what are the focus right now and forget about the rest. Move forward in an agile fashion by completing decisions and actions, go back to the backlog, and then pull in new work to be completed. Here's a live demo so you can get a feel for how these things look in the software platform that we built. So you have a list of clients here. You can go in and you can go to a growth plan. You can see a list of screenings that has been made in here and just create a quick screening. You can give it a name, and maybe you make an assessment of the status, the opportunities, or the skills. With a few clicks and marking out things on here in this software, you can save a draft so the client can't see it, and you can download it if you need to bring it to a meeting, or you want to send the client a PDF file with your own logo on. So that can be done fast. You can go back to the screening and you can add decisions and actions. So the areas that are most important, you can start building a 30, 60, 90-day action plan where you can assign tasks to different team members. You can check things off as done. You can jump around and sort and filter this action plan. check things as done, see what has been completed, share with clients over email, and things like that. You don't need to see all the details here. I just wanted to give you a little sense for how such software works. And when you download, again, the PDF file, you will see that there's now an action plan on the second page. So one place to keep track of these things that you do. But also then now you know that the client have certain needs that you have identified using one tool or another. You need to share tools, and what you need is a library, a tool stack. And you may have it on Dropbox or Google Drive or on your hard drive. We tried to make some software where you have one place where clients and advisors can access the same tools. And we made tools that are one-page tools. So we have more than 100. In fact, we have 300 tools that, as Krishnan mentioned earlier, we actually developed this through crowdsourcing. So we have these hundreds and hundreds of business advisors who helped us build the tools, all one page and visual, so you can make decisions. For example, a tool to make a decision about your product mix. So how can you expand your product portfolio from introductory products, core products, add-ons, or flagship products? There's a guideline, there's a checklist, and advisors can give this simple tool that has no solutions, but only questions, and work from there. And it takes maybe 30 minutes to go through a sheet, and we have in our basic toolbox 100 decision sheets. So it's very easy for people to work together. And if you don't use Growth Wheel, you may be using Business Model Canvas, or you could create your own toolbox. But having tools in a session that are visual just dramatically speeds up the process and makes everybody more creative and move towards what you really want, not to work on tools, but take action and execute it. So there are some for working with the sales process, with employees, with cash management, and another 100. I just want to share how the platform looks like when you go in and share these tools. So, and you can do similar in other systems than Growth Wheel, but we made a menu here on the wheel, so things are structured. An advisor can go in and maybe work with product portfolio. They see the tools available. They can download them. These are writable PDF files, co-branded. You can enter information if you want, or maybe just look at it and have a conversation and move straight to action. But sometimes it's nice to put things in writing and keep them. You can email these to clients or add them to a tool basket. So as you go through tools, you add them to a tool basket like a shopping cart. You can search maybe for trade show and find tools for that. You can upload your own personal tools. So if you're using Business Model Canvas, spreadsheets, anything, those can also be in this platform. And then you can email to the client when you're ready and say, look, here's the special tool stack that I made just for you. And in this way, the platform becomes where you distribute your tools, your tool stack, not your email account, not your hard drive, but there's a platform that supports this. Moving on to action plan, as I'm getting to the end, we made a simple way to do this in the cloud, a 5-star action plan that is simple and works. Instead of using just a pad of paper, online, you can enter actions as soon as you think about them. You can put them on a 36, 90-day timeline. You can assign them, you can share them, you can hide them, and do all the things that enables you to actually follow up. So you don't have to browse through emails to find out what did we agree at the previous meetings. And both client and advisor can go in and update the system or print a good-looking PDF file that is co-branded. So you can bring it to a meeting and have that discussion, whether that's on Zoom or whether we get back to real life. We also have a CRM system, and I won't talk too much about it, but there is a system where you keep track of clients. You can see their revenue. You can see the number of employees. You can go in and tag different clients, so you can sort and filter. You can make meeting minutes, which are action plans. You can go in and exchange emails from the platform. You have a library of emails you've sent. You can blind copy on your phone or your email software or Gmail, the system, so that all the emails show up in the system. We have chat today, so you can instantly chat with clients and keep a log of the chat. So it's not on WhatsApp, but it's actually in the platform, so all advisors can engage in the conversation. For reporting, we collect automatic big data about the client life stage, size of companies, ownership by gender, engagement time, and everything comes out as PDF files to be shared. So aggregated analytics on all the client means that advisors know, or managers know what advisors are working on. They can identify success stories and can print these charts here on the platform. So that was what I had to share in this brief time before we get to discussion. My point is that to innovate the process of giving advice, we need a framework. And here's at least one suggestion to start with. Would love to hear anybody's contribution, but we need to be better at onboarding the client so we get the right information, assess how we can help them, share the right kind of tools that works, build action plans that we can follow up on, create reporting, and manage the relationship. We just have one software for this. There are others out there, but I'm very curious and interested in a discussion about how can we innovate the core practice of giving business advice so everyone can be the best business advisor they can be. And with that, I'm going to say thanks for now and open up for questions or the next speaker maybe.
Thank you, David. Very interesting, not least for me, who is in the same line of business as you are. Do we have Anmesh Sheth here? Hello, Anmesh Sheth. Dr. Hanadi, do you know if Anmesh is here? It does not seem like Anmesh is here. So, Dr. Hanadi, do you hear us?
Meanwhile, I'm happy to take any questions or go into details with anything as we are waiting.
Excellent. Is there anybody else of the panelists who have a question?
Otherwise, I would certainly like to pose a question to everybody in the audience, and that would be if anybody feel like sharing any best practice you have. So in that interaction with client companies, whether they're early startups or scale-ups, whether they're seeking investments or had it already, can you point to any best practice that you have that you would like to share? Maybe looking at this framework and see, is there any of these things that you do particularly well? Or if you don't have a practice to share, maybe there's one area you can point out where you say that's where you see room for improvement, and we could dive a little bit more into that area. So feel free. We have some comments in the chat maybe. Well, that's from the previous session, so not yet, but feel free to share in the chat, of course, if you wish.
I mean, I saw that you listened also to Krishna's presentation before.
Yes.
And where do you see that? I mean, those kinds of sort of like ideation initiatives fit into the work that you're doing?
Yes. No, that's a great question, and I think that. When you work with innovation, and I wonder, Agnes, if you would agree, I assume you would, innovation is not just in one area of the business. When we talk innovation, it's not really just product innovation, is it? And if you look at our framework, again, this is just a checklist of things that are already out there. We didn't really invent the wheel, we just redesigned it in a way. So as you think about innovation, instead of just looking at product innovation or the product portfolio in the yellow area, that's certainly an area where you can innovate. But businesses can also innovate their revenue model. And many have done it during COVID-19 because their revenue model ran out. So they found out they could charge for new services, digital services. You can innovate your customer portfolio. More and more companies are born global. Look at the global market. They don't see themselves confined to a local market. So there's a lot of innovation that can happen there. If you look at your market position, innovation can sometimes start with the simple exercise of going on Google and checking out what are the others doing out there. So that could be innovation. You can have a very innovative approach to setting up a board. Instead of just having an accountant and a lawyer and the family on the board, you could have artists, you could have media people, you could have designers, you could have, many different profiles. You could be innovative in the way you put together your team, hopefully with a lot of diversity. And as you grow around this wheel, this checklist of things, you will realize that innovation really is a discipline that goes across the board. All functional departments, anywhere you can have innovation. So we made some tools for innovation as well. And one of the first things we would do is to say, well, what are the areas that we want to focus our innovation on? If you look at this checklist, are there some areas that are more important than others? And right after, what are the relationships? Because if you innovate your product, maybe you also need to innovate your sales, or maybe you need to innovate your IT systems, or innovate the way your facilities, your manufacturing units, your front office, or anything is designed. So in this way, you create innovation with a 360 perspective. And that's exactly the name of your company, isn't it, Agnes? So I think there is exactly something to be said, that innovation needs to go beyond product innovation. It's really an exercise that requires the big picture of the entire operation.
Thank you very much, David. And do we have Dr. Martin Andreessen here yet?